Hello, everyone. So today's podcast episode is with one of the people I actually look up to, and I'm just gonna shut up and let her introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Lucy Giles, and I am the drummer of Dog Party, and I'm super excited to be here today.
That's amazing. Lucy Ramone, Lucy Giles. Where does that? I wanted to ask you where the name Ramone, obviously from the Ramones, but like a bunch of
Yes.
people have something Ramone. How does that work? The Ramone proclamation.
Yeah, so when I think I was 12, I got really into the Ramones
Hmm.
and I became obsessed. Like I had to know every single thing. I listened to them profusely, exclusively, and I read every single piece of literature I could on them, and I watched every documentary I could find, and I just loved them so much. And so when I started my Instagram when I was
Hmm.
around 13, I had to think of a username, and so duh, I thought of Lucy Ramone, and I've just kept it ever since. And it's funny because some of my pals, my
Hmm.
musician pals call me Lucy Ramone, like, Ian Fowles from the Aquabats, he always calls me Lucy Ramone, and I think
Hmm.
it's really funny. And then kinda recently, back in 2018, I actually played drums in CJ Ramone's backing band,
Oh
and we
wow.
played 5 Ramones songs, and
Hmm.
so then I felt like I was actually a Ramone at that point.
Yeah. At this point, you're
Because I
entitled
I
to
mean,
use
not
them.
like yeah, like, I wasn't, like, an actual Ramone, but I had at least played with one,
Mm,
so that was really
super.
cool, and I love it. I love having that name on Instagram. Um, yeah,
They give you the
that's where it comes
instant.
from.
They give you the instant connection to people. Like, oh yeah, she knows. You can talk about the Ramones with
Yeah,
her.
and it's
What? Hmm?
totally my main drumming influence
Oh yeah.
is the Ramones for sure. Yeah.
Please tell me more about it. Like, how did you? I heard a lot of stories about it. You speak on the interviews. I watched a bunch of interviews. But um, how did you start drumming and play music in general?
Yeah, so I have a sister.
Mm-hmm.
She's 2 years older than me, and she's the other member of my band, Dog
Shout out
Party,
to the.
and she started playing the guitar, and I wanted to like, follow in her footsteps and start playing an instrument too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked the drums, and then I started playing. But
Mm-hmm.
it is important to note that um, my dad was extremely into music. He was never a musician himself, but he was very into rock and roll, especially the early 2000s rock revival. He
Like
really
what?
loved the White Stripes
Oh yeah, yeah,
specifically.
of course.
So that was a very big influence on me. And there was just music constantly playing. And um, so my sister, she wanted to
Mm-hmm.
play the guitar, and that's around the time that American Idiot came out, by Green
Green
Day.
Day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so she was really into that, um, and
What year was it? How old were you then?
um, I was 8 and she
8.
was 10,
Holy shit. Okay.
so I started I tried to start taking lessons, and it was
Mhm.
really hard to find someone that would teach me because I was really young
Mm.
and, I don't know, I was also a girl, and I feel like that kind of, like, freaked some people out. like, what's this girl trying to play drums for? But I finally got lessons with someone, and the second that I learned how to play a drum beat, like, on the full kit, the
Hmm.
band, like, pretty much started, like, the moment that that happened.
Okay.
So,
What you say that in a couple different interviews, but what do you mean by being a girl like freaks people out? Like, what's that? I don't really.
yeah. So, the basically, drums, are an instrument that guys play
Oh
more
yeah.
frequently than girls because it's, like, such an aggressive, instrument,
Sure.
you're bashing on things and hitting things, and so it's
Mm.
very uncommon to find a drum teacher that's a girl,
Oh yeah.
and so, yeah,
Mm.
I feel like it's just, like, mainly it's guys teaching guys, and just the fact that I was really young, it was, like, a combination of the 2 things. Like, typically, I don't know, they don't start letting you take drum lessons till you're, like, past 10 years old,
Mm.
just because
Maybe
it's, like,
because
a loud instrument.
okay, sure.
Yeah, like,
Um.
for example, when I was in elementary school, we
Mhm.
had, like, a school band, and, school band started when you were in 4th grade, but you weren't allowed to try out to play the drums unless you were a 5th grader or a 6th grader.
Okay, that's weird.
So, I don't know. I just feel like that there's always, like, a little age thing
Maybe
attached to that.
if you're not like old enough, like drums is such a instrument that it's kind of like the foundation of the band. So if you just fuck up, you can play guitar and you can fuck up. If drum is good, it can still go.
Yeah.
So that might make sense. But yeah, okay. So I wanted to ask you. You guys are like just guitar and the drums, two-piece band. How do you cover the bass sound? I guess it's more for your sister. The question is, but
Yeah. I know quite a bit about her setup though, so I can
mm,
speak on this,
yeah,
but
please.
we actually run her guitar through 2 different amps,
Uh,
and one of them runs a fuzz pedal. We use the Death by Audio Fuzz War.
okay.
So we run that one, and that tone has a lot of low end in it.
Mm,
And then we also run a different tone through the other amp that's brighter and
mm-hmm.
doesn't have distortion on it or anything like that. And it kind of like rounds out the sound so you can hear like specific notes
Oh,
um over the fuzz.
okay.
So that's how we do that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But during the recording, that you guys play bass separately.
On some of the records there's bass. Like on
Mm,
the first 2 when we were
mm-hmm.
super young, there's bass.
Mm.
But on the 3rd one and the 4th one and the 5th one, there's no bass.
No bass, really.
On the 6th one, there's only bass on some songs.
Sixth one
Like, I think
is
Hit
which
and
one?
Run.
You don't run. Okay. Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah. So I
Cool.
think there's only bass on, like, Hit and Run and maybe Trembles, but
Definitely has a full sound,
yeah.
so it's not a problem at all. I just wondering how you do it.
Yeah.
Where does the
Mhm.
name Dog Party come from?
So we were really young when we started the band.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how I was talking about the Ramones earlier, when I
Yeah.
like stuff, I become very invested in it. And so
Mm.
when I was young, I really liked dogs. So I would like study the dog book and try to know every single thing about dogs. Um, so when we started the band and then we thought like, "Oh no, well we need to think of a name, right?"
Yeah.
So I told my sister, I said, the name has to have the word dog in it.
Sure.
And so she was like, "Okay." So she started coming up with a couple ideas and she said dog party and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, that sounds cool."
What are the other names that was potentially
I don't
whatever
really
you
know.
you don't remember? Okay.
Yeah,
I highly
so long
suggest
ago.
to I highly suggest the listeners, if you want to like look up their songs, like don't just type dog party because there's gonna be videos of dogs coming. Just type like I don't know, go on Bandcamp or something. That
Dog party
sounds
band.
exactly dog party specific song titles and shit like that. Uh, how do you write songs? Like, do you? So I write songs too, but my main thing is hardcore and hardcore punk. So it's a little bit different approach in the way that you have to have certain melodies to your type of music.
Mhm.
I've been trying to write acoustic songs too, but it's harder. How do you with melodies? How do you write songs? Do you start from the melody, uh, as in instruments, or lyrics, or is it all
Yeah.
good stuff? Depends.
So for me, I'm consistently writing. Um, for the past like 2 years, I want to say I've consistently been like writing poetry.
Mm,
So like they're not necessarily like songs like initially. I'll
yeah.
just like write poems and whatnot. And then I'll like so yeah, so that's how I write mainly.
Mm, mm,
So
sure.
then when I um think of melodies, I'll normally come up with the melody just like randomly, like in my head,
Mm,
and I will like record a little voice memo of it.
mm-hmm.
So I like take note of that.
Mm,
And then sometimes I will then look over stuff that I've written or just think of new stuff right off the bat and
mm,
put those words to the melody that I have in mind. And then comes the trickier part. Then I sit down with the guitar and I'm like,
yeah,
gosh, now I have to figure out what the heck this
I know,
melody
right?
is. My sister is a lot more talented at guitar than I am.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to go to her and I'm like, I can't figure out what chords this melody is. Can you help me? So then she'll help me out.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes I
Mm,
do write with the guitar, and if I
mm.
write with the guitar, then I'm writing the chords first and then the melody.
Chords for a standard melody. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just it depends on like what I'm interested in doing.
Hmm.
Sometimes the songs just come flowing out of me all at
Right.
once with the melody, the chords, and the words. Like for
Mm.
example, there's a song on Hit and Run called "The Operator,"
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and that song just came right out of me. Like I sat down with the guitar and was like playing chords for like a tiny bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, and I just started like playing, and I thought of all the words and everything like right on the spot. So
Mm.
sometimes you're lucky like that, and songs will just come naturally to you. But I have spent a long time working on some certain songs.
Mm.
But it really just depends on like what I'm doing. When I was young, what typically would happen was my sister would start riffing on chords
Okay.
and then I would come up with a melody and I'd just start singing.
Mm.
So that's kind of how we used to write songs back in the day. But now it's either well, it's kind of like it's three main chunks. It's like the lyrics, the melody, and the music, and you can kind of like shuffle those around in what order
Mm.
I, decide to do things. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
typically,
Mm.
lately, it's been melody, lyrics, then the chords.
Cool.
And I feel
I
like that's
Mhm.
less restrictive because, like I said earlier, My sister is a lot more talented at the guitar than I am. And so if when she's sitting down writing a song, she'll know what chord to play because she knows a
Mhm.
lot about music theory too. But if I'm sitting with a guitar, I only know a certain amount. So I feel
Mm.
like I'm more restricted in what I can do. But if I'm just thinking about the melody, then I can go off and do whatever I want.
Like the coming up with the melody is the hardest for me. Like, is there any like advice that you can give me? Like, I have all the songs lyrics excuse me, lyrics written down.
hmm
Um, and I can play some cool chords and stuff like that, and just fuck around with it. But like, I can't come up with the singing part of the melody. Like, is there any type of tip that you use personally? Might not necessarily fit me, but
Yeah.
um, I
I
don't know.
would say that I listen to music a lot, like I'm
Mm-mm.
consistently consuming it. And so, um, if I'm feeling uninspired
Right.
in regards to like melodies, I will like kind of switch up what type of music I'm listening to,
Okay.
and it will like help me get new ideas and come up with things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But another thing is if you listen to music that has a lot of instrumental breaks in it,
Hmm.
where you can, like, kinda make up your own thing
Okay.
on top of chords that are already playing.
Hmm.
That's fun. But I am also a consistent, like, hummer. So, like, when I'm, like, doing
I like
chores or, like, doing things, I'm like I'm always, like, whistling or, like, singing.
it. Hmm.
So, just mindlessly
Hmm.
humming whatever, you can create
Okay.
really cool melodies with that. My mom
Oh.
also hums a lot, and it's really funny because 'cause she'll be,
Yeah.
like, washing the dishes, and she'll just be like, and it's
Mm.
not like she's humming a song, like, she's just making up whatever.
Mm. You're
Yeah.
making up stuff. Okay. Cool. Um. All right. Let me. So, do you know how I discovered you guys? Can you guess how I like run
No.
into the music? I was like so right here, Road to Ruin. I was searching
Mhm.
for any Ramones like cover songs on YouTube from the album, and I found some girl doing that.
Oh,
And you remember like when
yeah.
you I don't know how old you are. You guys looked really young. I was like, these two girls like playing
Uh-huh.
you know what song I'm gonna say? Questioningly.
Yeah,
That's
questioningly.
yeah, that specific video that you covered questioningly from Ramon's album The Road to Ruin caught my attention. And I was like, wow, these guys are really good.
That's
And
awesome.
and I was looking for I was doing like a Ramones cover with acoustic too. So I actually practiced for like
Nice.
month and month based on your version of questioningly because that was so
That's
cool.
fun.
It's a bit different from
Um,
the original. So
was the was the video do
mhm.
you remember, like, what it looked like? Was there, like, a red curtain in the background?
It
Yeah?
was it was in man, it was in there was a bunch of videos that you guys playing that song. It was
Yeah.
you had a short pink hair, like really short, and you playing guitar, uh,
Oh,
and your sister obviously is playing
I'm
guitar
playing
too.
guitar.
And it was a
Am I
bright
sitting behind the
room.
drums?
No, you both standing up, I
Mm,
think. Remember that one?
oh, okay.
You know. And you talking like we're gonna cover the song that was being played earlier on the I don't speak or something
Oh,
like. Do you remember that? That exact
well, I have some
video.
ideas as to when it might have been a video of us playing it in Europe.
Europe. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You guys
Or
toured in Europe?
because we did yeah.
Wow. How old were you? Like that video around that time. How old were you?
I was either 13 or 14, but it was
Jesus,
yeah,
wow.
so that's 10 years ago now because 'cause I'm 23.
2020, okay. In my head, you're like still like
Yeah.
teenager, like wow, these girls really
Oh
like
my god.
nail it. That's crazy. And the second song I found was Dead Guy. Um, and I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you the story behind that because I heard the song was about Joey Ramone.
Yeah, it's about Johnny Ramone.
Johnny Ramone. Okay. I misunderstood, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about Johnny because I loved the Ramones so much, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
and it was super funny because I was just very obsessed with the Ramones, and my
Mm.
sister,
Yeah.
she was like, "Lucy, like, you are, like, 12, 13 years old,
Mm-hmm.
um, you're going to middle school,
Mm-hmm.
do you like any guys, like, at school? Like, do you have any crushes?" And I was
Okay.
like, "No, I don't." And all I could talk about was the Ramones,
Nerd.
and I know, and she, like, made this, like, alliteration. It's still a joke, a personal joke between the 2 of us, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she she said it's not gonna make sense, but she
Oh,
said that guys were like soup, like the soup that you eat, and she
okay.
was like, "Normal people
Mm-hmm.
like soup,
Mm-hmm.
so, like, you should like soup too, like, you need to, like, try to like, I don't know, someone your own age or
Oh,
whatever." So, I don't know, I feel like that inspired me to write Dead Guy because it's like a
you
love
wrote
song
it.
about it's
Mm-hmm.
not like yeah, it's not like I was actually in love with Johnny Ramone, like, I
Mm-hmm.
understand that, like, I'm obviously not, but it was kinda like, my sister was like, You should really be liking guys at this point in your life, but all you can do
Okay.
is talk about the Ramones." And, Johnny Ramone is well, I don't know about Tommy, but
Mm.
when I wrote the song, Johnny Ramone was the only Ramone that was cremated,
Oh yeah?
and so so in the bridge, when I say, "You could
Interesting.
have been a zombie and we could have met someday, but your
Yeah.
old lady cremated you away."
Mhm.
So that's the real hint as to which Ramone it's about
Oh
because
shit, I
all the
didn't
other
catch
ones are
it.
buried, so
I always thinking
yeah.
like Joey in my head because I love Joey. That guy is so weird and cool, but
Yeah. He's so cool in Rock and Roll High School.
oh yeah, you love Rock and Roll High School, right? When I was in Canada,
Yeah, he's
we
so
went
cool.
to we went to this like tiny, filthy venue that was shutting down, and they're showing the Rock and Roll High School. I didn't know nothing about this. I knew about Ramones. I didn't know about the film, but all the punks gathered around in this shitty venue, and we all watched Rock and Roll High School on TV. What is it?
That's
Screen.
fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is like pop culture mainstream shit, but Ramones is on it. And I didn't realize Ramones, because I was always into harder side of punk, and punk was to me was like
Uh-huh.
super like extreme like counterculture. But that like movie is really like I don't know, it's like any other comedy movie, and there's Ramones in it, and it was like I couldn't comprehend that fact that they were in this popular um
Yeah.
it's
It's pretty
so
weird
sweet.
if you think about it.
It's so weird. They're the godfather of all the crazy music, but you know, I love the scene when Joey is eating like chicken and fucking like on the car. You remember that scene?
Yeah, it's so cool.
So weird, so cool. I made a phone cover of that scene. Joey eating chicken like this.
That's great.
Um, yeah. Did you watch Rock and Roll High School before you knew Ramones, or did music
Not
came first?
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
music definitely came first,
Okay.
but yeah, I
That's
watched
cool.
that movie all the time.
Oh yeah, I watched that on Halloween. It was like the Halloween event. So
Mhm.
somehow that movie in my head is a Halloween movie. So every Halloween
Ah.
I watch it.
That's fun.
Yeah. Um, So you like Johnny.
Yeah.
Does your sister and you have the Johnny style, like downstroke guitar style?
You know what's funny about my sister is she learned how to pick the
Mm-hmm.
guitar upward. She just like
Upward.
started playing upward. Yeah. So
Wow.
like on like the single string. So if she's ever doing like a solo, she will
Mm-hmm.
pluck the strings upward, which is
Really?
funny. So
It's kind of cool.
when she had to learn how to play downstrokes, it was kind of hard for her, but she got it pretty
Mm.
easily because we were in Kepi Ghoulies band of the Groovy Ghoulies.
Mm-mm-mm.
We were in his band for a long time, so she had to like learn all that stuff. And there's a couple Dog Party songs that have the downstroke. I think there's not that many, but I know
Really?
for sure that
Mm.
Best Friend has the downstrokes,
Okay.
but there's really not
I don't
that
remember the
many.
song. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember the song. Which one is that from?
That is from Lost Control, which is
Lost
our third
Control. Okay.
record. Yeah.
I'll take a listen. Pay attention to the guitar. All right, cool. So you were actually in his band. I only saw like
Yes.
live. Okay. Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, that guy's pretty catchy. I don't know much about. I usually don't listen to like your type of music at all.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting for me. And there's so many. Like, okay, so that guy. I love Sapphire. Sapphire.
Sapphires. Yeah.
You Sapphire. Your sister wrote the song. I know because
Yeah.
I texted you a while ago. I'm not sure if you remember. I wanted to cover your songs, just like
Uh-huh.
personally, and I wanted to know the lyrics, and my ear is not good enough because English is still my second language, so I had to
Mhm.
know the lyrics, and I texted you. Oh, hi, I'm Tsubasa from Japan. I want to know the lyrics, and you sent me all the lyrics. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And you told me uh, about the song, so I guess it's not your song, is it? Can you tell
No.
me a little?
And
Sure.
so she's basically saying like, "Do you really like me? Like, is this really like is this important to you? Because you're not acting like it. You're acting like a dummy." And then in the
Yeah,
chorus, she just says
straightforward.
like she wants someone to tell her, that she's pretty and whatnot,
Mm.
and to like hold her and like be nice to her, and not
Seek
be
out
such a
her desire.
tool.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love the melody. It took me
Yeah,
forever
it's really
to
good.
figure out
She's
the lyrics. Mm. Yeah, another song I recently like. I actually was on the train back to Himeji. Himeji is the city I live in, and I was in Osaka, which is the biggest city. I met a bunch of people that night and came back home. And on the train, I was listening to your song. What was that? Queen of Hearts. I was like almost
oh,
crying. Like,
nice.
oh, it just really spoke to me because I was drunk in
Uh,
this. But that song, I love that song. I've been practicing that song too. I do a lot of covers just
yeah. Oh,
by
that's fun.
myself.
I do too. I like doing covers. That
Did you
song
write? Mm-hmm.
was actually yeah, so I wrote that song and it
Oh,
was
sick.
the very first song that I
Mm.
wrote for that record.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like normally I'll say like it was the first. Normally I'll call the records like songwriting cycles. So
Mm-hmm.
like those are like the songwriting cycles each record. So yeah, that was the first of that songwriting cycle. And that one's fun. I like that one. And what's funny is when we
Mm-hmm.
recorded Hit and Run, I didn't like that song
Really?
anymore, and I felt
Mm.
like it was so dumb. Yeah,
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I like it." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Why?
cause it's a little bit different than the other songs on the
In
record.
terms of.
So I was kind of feeling self-conscious about it, and I even questioned if we should remove it off the record.
Oh, no
But
way.
it turned out to be a lot of people's favorites, so I'm glad that I
Really?
kept it on there.
Oh.
But what's cool is we never used to play that song live, like,
Mm.
ever.
Mm.
And
Mm.
during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
my sister, she was like, Lucy, I think we should start playing Queen of Hearts again. Like, I really want to try it.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know, I don't want to. And she was like, no, just give it a chance.
Huh.
And so I figured out one of the reasons why I didn't like
Right.
playing the song was because it was a little too low for me to sing because
Okay.
it's a lot of words and I'm playing the drums really fast and it was in a lower
Hmm.
register, so it was harder. So what we did was
Oh.
we raised it either a step or two, I'm not sure. And so now we play it a little bit higher, so it's a lot easier for me to sing.
I didn't
And
know.
my sister, she does this cool thing where she, like, yells in the song, and it's
Yeah.
fun. So hopefully, there'll be some video footage from the Anti-Flag tour so you can see it.
I saw one live footage of you guys singing it. It was like a part of a long, I don't know, 25 minutes, whatever. Uh, you don't know?
Mm,
It's pretty recent.
no.
It was like
Oh,
the second from the last song or some shit like that. I don't know.
was it if it was recent, then perhaps it
Yeah, it was recent.
was a live stream?
Yeah, live stream. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. So we just recently started playing it again. Yeah.
Oh, great story. That's. But what did you? So that's the only reason that you didn't like, or is there other reasons in
Yeah,
terms of?
I thought that the lyrics weren't
Hmm,
the strongest. I didn't like the bridge. I'm not the biggest fan of bridges. I've
okay.
actually come to like them more recently.
Hmm.
But I feel like if you're gonna have a bridge, it should be one of the best parts of the song.
Sure.
It should definitely be like an asset to the song.
Hmm.
And I feel like in that song in particular, I just had the bridge to, like, change it up a little bit so it wasn't so, like,
Okay.
the same the whole time, but
Mhm.
I changed the words to the bridge in the recording studio because they were worse before. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Mm,
original demo, the words to the bridge are different. I don't even know what
really?
they were.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, the lyrics were is my favorite part of this particular song. So
Uh-huh.
I tell you that it spoke to me.
Well,
I think
that's
that spoke to a lot of people in a way that
yeah,
spoke to me,
I think so.
even though you
And
thought it
I
was
feel like
dumb.
I was feeling kind of embarrassed about it,
Okay.
like,
Hmm.
'cause, it's not a fun feeling
It's
to go through what you go through in that song.
it's
So,
it's such an honest,
I
straightforward
don't know.
song to admit. Like I love the part that you laying down on the fucking floor.
Yeah,
I
I
relate to this.
know.
I'm
That I
just
think that was the
2 a.m.
part.
and fucking on the floor, dead, like heartbroken.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and
All right,
it's a true thing. A lot of people go through it.
absolutely
So, but yeah.
good. Um, so okay, I forgot to ask you, what's your favorite Ramones songs? It's cliche
Oh,
question.
okay.
There's got to be many, I assume, but
Yeah.
I know your favorite
Okay, so I
album,
can tell you yes, Leave
Leave
Home.
Home. Yep,
Mhm.
I did the research.
That is my favorite. It's so tough, but like Oh Oh, I Love Her So is one of my favorites. I
All right.
love the first record a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, Havana Affair, that was one of my first favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw or Chainsaw is what it's called.
Chainsaw.
I love that one. There's so many, and, like, I really loved Road to Ruin too. Just all of them.
Do you like later albums
They're
like
just all so good.
Mondo Bizarro?
I actually have a Mondo Bazaar poster hanging up right there. You can't see it, but it's right there.
Sick. Awesome.
Mondo Bizarro is cool. That was actually one
Bit
of the
different.
first Ramones records I ever heard.
No way. Oh,
And I
cool.
do like, yeah, I like their covers and stuff on because it's
Mm,
mainly
pretty
covers.
badass.
And I think that's really cool. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
it was just cool.
I gotta say,
I do.
mhm. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, I gotta say, Poison Heart is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, there's one oh yeah, I forget if the name of this song is actually this, but
Mm.
I Wanna Live.
I will live.
I don't even know what record that one's on.
I don't know.
That one's really good.
Um, did you grow up having collecting records and all these material, physical things, or because I grew up listening to YouTube, also had a bunch of CDs, so sometimes it's hard for me to name the song from this album or record and stuff like that.
Yeah. I would say yes. I have always been into physical things.
Mm, okay.
I like things a lot.
Records
You can
or
ask my
CDs? You just
sister.
okay.
I love buying things and I love collecting things, and
Mm,
so
all
yeah.
right.
I typically have a lot of especially when it comes to music, like if I like it, that I
Mm,
want the thing. Like I was really excited because earlier this week I went uh to the record store and I was snooping around for some country 45s and I picked up um Jeannie C. Riley's version of Harper Valley PTA. It was original first pressing off Plantation Records,
okay.
and I was just so excited that I actually, like, have it now
Mm,
physically.
there's something about the physical
There's just, like, a feeling, like, yeah,
owning.
I could look it up on, like,
Yeah.
Spotify. Yeah. I
Mm,
could look it up on Spotify, I could listen to it on YouTube. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm in the car a lot,
mm,
especially when we're on tour,
okay.
so it's not like I'm playing records in the car. Like, I
Mm.
can't do that. I'm listening to Spotify,
Mm.
but I like having the real thing because it makes me feel more at peace because I actually have it.
Mm. And to me, especially, it's hard for me to just like I love music, but like I'm always into music with lyrics, and I love reading people's writings. So sometimes there's some songs that they don't have it online, like show the lyrics. So I just sometimes have to buy the
Yeah,
actual CD. I don't collect records, but uh,
right.
yeah, I really dig like writing.
Yeah, and on our
Also,
CDs, we don't have the lyric inserts on them. We only have those on the records, and
oh
it's
yeah,
only on some.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, luckily you guys post some song lyrics on Bandcamp, so a
Yeah,
lot of people
we
don't
do.
do that when they release from like some yeah, but yeah, it's very helpful. Um, man, I can talk about the Ramones forever, but my okay, I gotta do shout out to my friend Marusha because she must be listening because she I introduced her to your music and she's been digging your music too and we've been pen pal over 10 years.
Aw.
That's before I spoke actual English, and we love Ramones, we love Social Distortion, um we love Dog Party now because I introduced that
Aw.
to her. She had a bunch of questions about your country stuff.
Uh-huh.
We're getting into later, but she's the one who kind of introduced me to Mondo Bizarro CD, and yeah, Poison Heart, like I say, is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Any covers that you want to do or thinking of doing?
Yeah. So, I'm always thinking about covers because I feel like those are
Great.
really important, and I'm always singing, so, like,
Mm-hmm.
we have a new Dog Party cover in our set,
Right.
for the Anti-Flag Tour. It is, "Only Mama That'll Walk the Line,"
Mm-hmm.
which Only Daddy That'll Walk the Line, that's Waylon Jennings, and then Linda Ronstadt did Only Mama That'll Walk the Line, so
Okay.
we're doing that song, and it's super fun.
Oh, sick.
And then recently, we've been playing our, like, dog party acoustic, which
Yeah.
is, like, more of, like, our we'll play, like, our originals, but then we'll play, like, a lot of covers and a lot of country covers. So I'm
Mm.
always thinking of new songs to do. There's
Mm.
always a bunch of Buck Owens songs that I wanna sing because his harmonies with Don Rich, the other guy that was in his band, are just
Okay.
absolutely phenomenal, and I feel like my sister and I do them really well. Um, but then today
Mm.
earlier today, I was playing the guitar and I thought of an idea to sing Marty Robbins' song called "Singin' the Blues"
Okay.
and mash it together with a Jimmy Rogers blue yodel. So just, like, throw a yodel in there,
Wow.
and so I thought of the idea yesterday, and then I played it today, and it
Mhm.
worked. It was cool. So, I'm excited. I might release a little video of me playing that on my,
Okay.
Instagram.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I'm not like educated enough on this country music. I love Hank Williams though, but
Uh-huh.
I'm not like super like educated on it. I love this style, and people always say like, "Oh, I listen to everything except for country." And when they say that, I'm
I
like,
know.
"Please stay away from me." But I don't.
Yeah, it makes me sad when people say that.
But recently, you know what? Like recently, what I discovered is that they don't mean like Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, all these people. They mean like pop country song that's on
Yeah,
radio and shit like that. So uh,
exactly.
I didn't know that until recently, and I was like, Johnny Cash, you don't like? And they're like, oh, Johnny Cash is cool. Hey, he's country. But
Yeah,
you love Hank Williams, don't you?
I do. He's one of my faves.
I
My
I saw
all-time
you
faves.
posting "Love Sick Blues" cover, like a short clip or whatever on Instagram the other day. Pretty cool. Uh,
Yes, he's just great, and I love him for so many reasons,
okay.
but his songwriting is absolutely phenomenal, and just the little things, the little phrases he says in his songs are
Mm, mm, mm,
so
mm.
good and kinda funny. I was listening to him earlier today, and he said
Mhm.
something, I can't remember what he said,
Oh, damn.
but I was just like, "Oh my god, that is just so good." I love it.
After like that's what I realized recently. Like after all these years of like him being his music being around after him being dead, you assume like a lot of people would copy what he did, but nobody has really done any like the same thing. It doesn't they don't do it like he does. Cause like I was listening to his song
No.
Cold Cold Heart and like just like I've
Uh-huh.
never heard anything like that. Like in terms of lyrics though. There are
Yeah.
millions of songs that sound like that, but in terms of lyrics, I never seen such a how do I say it? Like nuanced. Like it's
Mhm.
so nuanced and relatable.
They really are.
Pretty crazy. Like
They're so, like they always just paint such a picture in my head. Like,
yeah.
whenever I hear a Hank song, like, I have this little, like, scene going on in my head of, like,
Mm.
"What's going on?" Because he describes it all, you know?
I know that's crazy. Like is there any songs that you particularly attached to?
Yeah. Well, "I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry"
Mm.
is obviously one of his most popular. It's just great, and, like, hear that lonesome whippoorwill, he sounds too blue to fly.
Okay, I
Like,
don't remember that
what?
song.
Like, it's so touching, and
Could you
then
say that
there's so
title
many
again?
that I love.
Could you say the
"I'm So
title
Lonesome I
again?
Could Cry."
The next one?
What
Oh, you're talking
did I
about
say
that
another one? I don't
song.
even remember.
No, I think you were
Yeah,
talking about that song. Okay,
mhm.
okay, never mind. Yeah. I can tell.
It's just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a lot of other ones. There's a song of his called
Mm.
Long Gone Daddy,
Long on daddy. Oh yeah.
and that one always makes me laugh
Yeah.
because
Why?
yeah, it's so just he's so spiteful in it.
I
I
remember.
love it.
I remember. I'll look it up. Long on daddy. Awesome.
And then
Ooh.
he's got one called Fool About You,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Full
and
value.
I love that one. Like the first line is so good. He says, like a hog rootin' up under a fence, like a flop-eared mule who ain't got no sense. I've been a fool about you.
Mm.
And I'm just like, "What?" I love it. Like, I could just, like, picture a little pig, like, trying to get under a fence, and then, like,
Mm.
this cute mule that has, like, these big ears. Cute.
That's amazing. Like he's written so many like heartbreak songs. It's so
Yeah,
awesome.
and I don't know if you know, but he had
Uh-huh.
his Luke the Drifter, which is, like, his alter ego, and he has a bunch of sad, sad songs that he
Yeah.
wrote. Yeah,
What did
it's
you say?
so good.
Luke.
Luke the Drifter.
What is that? Is it a
It's
song
his
or what?
alter ego. No, it's him.
Alter ego, him.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means that it's like his alias. So
Oh.
sometimes he would get like really drunk
Uh-huh.
and he was supposed to perform as Hank Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd go up on stage and say that he was Luke the Drifter.
I have no
And
idea
then
anything about that.
he'd play like a whole different set of songs. And a lot of
Wow.
them are like gospel songs. They have a lot to do with like religion,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're really kind of sad. And he's got some real sad ones in there.
Wow.
I really
That
like
guy
it.
is
I have
talented.
a playlist on my Spotify of
Yeah?
Luke the Drifter songs, yeah.
Alright.
Because I have a Luke the Drifter record
Mm.
that's really cool, and so I took the track listing off that,
Okay.
and a lot of it is on, like, Hank Williams anthologies and, like, collections. So it's, like it's under Hank Williams, like, now, but
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, those were Luke the Drifter songs.
Wow, I have
So
no
it's
idea
really
about it.
cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Could you like send me the link to the playlist or whatever? Is it possible?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So my friend Marusha had questions for you. Now that we're talking about country stuff, she said, "I'm really into country as well. If you can ask her a question about it, like, okay, first question would be, how did it come to her? Like this, she elaborate later that the country style lyrics and singing, way of singing, particularly, um, did you have it already or like had to like is that something that you had to learn from it? Like she put it that way. Do you have an answer to
Yeah,
that?
so when I started listening to country music right
Hmm.
away, I
Mm.
saw such a parallel between punk singing and country singing. I
Yeah.
was like, this
How?
is like the same thing because they crack their voice a lot when they
Mm.
do like yodeling and whatnot.
Okay.
And it's pretty similar. And then
Mm.
in country music, early country, there's a lot of runs. They'll do little
Runs.
fast runs, vocal runs, where they're like, or whatever, but they'll like run it all together.
Okay.
And um, that is something that Billy Joe does, like
Billy Joe
all the
from Green
time.
Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. Interesting.
I've never
Hmm.
really like publicly said, but I always laugh and just say that Billy Joe's actually a country singer because
Oh yeah.
yeah, a lot of his stuff, it's really it's really reminiscent of that. But when I started
Mm.
listening to country music, it
Mm.
only, like, opened up my eyes to, like, how singing can be and, like, how how I could improve my singing
Mm.
and how I can relate that to rock and roll, because rock and roll was
Mhm.
birthed from country music,
Mm.
and punk rock was birthed from rock and roll.
Mm.
So it's all connected.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you can draw,
Mm.
um, some similarities between all of it. And so it's really
Mm,
fun to like pick up on stuff.
okay. So
Yeah.
you learn it from listening to answer the question. You learn it from fuck. What did I ask?
You asked about like how I learned how to
Yeah,
sing the
yeah, yeah,
country
yeah. True.
music, but what I was saying is that it was not hard because I was pretty
Oh,
much
okay.
doing it already. But
Uh,
another thing that I'm pretty good at
mm-hmm.
is, well, my sister always tells me that I am, but
Mm.
I have a tendency to like mirror like what's going on.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so if I'm playing a cover
Uh-huh.
of a song, I'll like sing like how that person sings.
Okay.
So
Oh,
when
the
I'm
original. Okay, okay, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so when I'm listening to music, I especially mirror. And so I like sing like I shape my vocal cords and like sing really similar to
I
how they're
can.
singing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just copying what they're doing. And it's like learning cursive handwriting. Like
Oh yeah.
when in school, when you learn cursive, you have to like copy down like it a bunch of times to like learn how to write.
Mm.
And I just, like, do that in my singing. Like, I just, like,
Wow.
copy them and, like, sing how they sing, and then I apply that to my own stuff.
I think I can understand what you're saying because I do that all the time too. And I sometimes wonder, like,
Yeah.
am I original or like just copying people? But like that's how you, if you're an artist, that's how you start, right? Like, there's nothing original. Like
Yeah.
you are at some point, like trying to copy or learn from something that somebody made before and trying to make it your own. So that's cool.
Mhm.
Um, cool. Then
Yeah.
next one. She asked you, is your parents into country?
So, my parents were definitely not into country music at
Hmm.
all. When
Okay.
I started listening to it, they were just like, "What the heck is going on with Lucy? Like, this is weird." But then I kept showing them. I was like, "No, like, listen to this. Like, listen." And so
Listen.
Hank Williams was, like, the first one that my dad was like, "Whoa, this is actually so sick."
Wow.
So, it's just really fun because I feel like for the beginning of my life and my
Mhm.
childhood, my dad showed me all kinds of music, and he still shows me some to this day. But then ever since, and that's another thing too, bringing it back to the Ramones. My
Right.
dad didn't listen to the Ramones or anything like that.
Mm.
I showed him the Ramones,
Sick.
and he was like, "Whoa, this is really cool." And so,
Mm.
like, the same thing happened with country music later. I
Mm.
showed him country and, like, Hank, and he was like, "Whoa." And then so we become, like, song music buddies, and we just, like, share music with each other,
What's he
and
into?
we go record shopping and stuff.
What was he
My
into?
dad?
Like when yeah, besides White Stripes and uh, yeah.
Yeah, so he was really into, as was I, the 2010s garage revival out of like San Francisco. So
I
like
don't
the
know.
OCs and Ty Segall and stuff like
Okay.
that. So we were like
Mm.
really into that. And then that's around the time that I started listening to like country music. Um,
Okay.
but he's into all kinds of things. And especially right now, my mom she got really into Tom Petty, like really randomly
Oh,
a
there you
couple
go.
years ago. And
Mm.
so now me and my dad are like pretty obsessed with Tom Petty. And we have Tom Petty playing in the house every single morning.
Oh wow.
Every single morning of every day we start with Tom Petty.
Hmm. That's interesting.
It's
Were you
wonderful.
So when you say punk, were you into okay, you obviously into Ramones, but were you into
Mhm.
some other form or subgenre of punk like hardcore, a little harder stuff, or just
Basically, it was just like 77
77 stuff?
punk.
Okay.
Yeah, in that
Hmm.
vein.
Fair enough. Are you into
Yeah, in like
social
early
distortion?
80s. Social Distortion, I have heard some
Hmm.
of their country covers,
Which one?
which I find cool. They do some Kitty Wells stuff, and I think that's really awesome.
Mm,
But I am not extremely familiar with
okay.
them as a band, and I don't actively listen to them, but I am friends with a lot of people who do, and
Hmm.
I think it's cool. I think it's so cool that they were playing country songs
Yep.
when, like, no one else was, and, like,
True.
they didn't care. Because
No.
it's, like, it's great songs, and I'm just so glad that, because half the people don't even know that they're country songs either. They just think that, "Oh, it's Social Distortion." So, they're
Yeah.
sharing they're sharing these brilliant songs, these brilliant melodies, and this brilliant songwriting to
Mm.
people, and I just think that's really cool.
Absolutely. They kind of. I mean, they are the introduction of Johnny Cash and Hank Williams to me personally, because they did
Mhm.
those covers too. Um, so yeah, I just wondered because it's kind of connected to country
Yeah, for
versus
sure.
punk uh, topic. So, and they're from OC. OC? I'm not sure. Orange County,
Yeah, they are from Orange
California.
County. Mhm.
Amazing. All right, let's see. So Marush, you want to start doing the line dancing, the country dancing. I'm not sure how you guys call it. Do you do that too?
No, dancing, it's kinda sad. I've tried.
Yeah,
My sister is better at line dancing than me.
really.
Um, yeah, I've
We were
tried
wondering,
before.
does she do that too? Like, is she that like into the whole country? Like I don't know. Okay,
No. I
we wonder.
wish. I went to a rodeo once,
Yeah.
and then afterwards they had, like, a dance party, and
Mm-mm-mm.
they were all doing these line dances, and
Mm.
I tried really hard, and I couldn't quite get it.
Oh yeah.
It was embarrassing. So I just like to listen.
Okay.
I'll
Cool.
watch the other people do it.
Hmm. So you have this country project OBO
Mhm.
own stuff going on. Is it like part of dog party stuff, or are you planning to do the whole solo thing that's more catered to country?
So that's a good question. I really enjoy performing with my sister.
Hmm.
Um, and I like her right by my side, my wingman,
Mm.
and our harmonies are just out of this world.
Oh
And
yeah.
so it's sad to me when I have to sing and she's not there
Mm.
because she's not there to supplement and make it sound beautiful and sing her own beautiful songs and bring all that she has to the table.
Hmm.
Um, so in short, I don't like playing without her. And
Mm.
so any project that I would want to do would be with her. Um,
Okay.
so the country stuff, I've convinced her to sing it
Yeah.
with me. And
That's
so we do like the dog party acoustic, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be called dog party or if we want to name it something else.
mm, mm, mm.
We haven't come to that yet because we haven't recorded any
Okay, okay.
material for it, but that will be a serious bridge to cross when we get there.
Because I was like desperately looking for like, how has she already released this country stuff? Because it's really good,
Yeah.
and I was like looking for shit. Like I all I find is some videos of you and possibly your sister as well, besides you singing. I love, by the way, I love the song you wrote, Second Fiddle song.
Oh, yeah.
We love that song. So I was wondering you already released anything like that or not, but you haven't, right?
That's correct. We have
Okay.
not,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
want to.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
want to soon.
So we're so excited about that. Okay. Man, I have so many questions, but you're in a different band called Lost Cat.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the band.
Yeah, so when I was living in Long Beach. I
Mm,
was going to school,
mm,
and I wasn't playing, in any bands down there. I
okay.
was just hanging out, living there, going to school, doing whatever. And
Mm,
so, then the bass player, Angie, she contacted me and she was like, "Hey, like we're looking for a drummer and I think that you'd be perfect for it. Would you be interested in like jamming with us and like
mm,
having some fun?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, I don't know why, but I was just kind of like nervous about it.
why?
Like I don't know. I can't just really describe what the feeling was, but it wasn't like I didn't wanna play with them or anything.
Mm,
It was just I don't know. It took me a while to, like I think partly it was because like a bunch of friends, and I didn't know, like, a bunch of people down there. And
sure.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
No. No, 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 no. It was more of just, like, I didn't know anyone and, like, I was just like, "Ugh," like, I don't know, I was just scared.
Mm,
But then I said yes, and I was like, "Oh my god, like, I'm gonna be playing with these people." And it's like I'd played in other bands before, and I played with other people before, but I don't know, it was just different because I was like completely, in Long Beach, separated from like,
mm,
my family and like the past life I had, like in Sacramento, and I was like on to new things and like new chapter, going to school and whatnot. So I said yes. And 'cause I absolutely love, rock and roll and the style that they play, and I heard 2 of their songs, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool, like, yes, I wanna play."
mm.
So we got together, and we all hit it off very instantly, and it's been a bunch of fun, and I love playing with them.
Are they been have they been active?
Yeah, so, like, during, the pandemic, it's been hard for any band out there
Oh
to
yeah,
really remain active,
sure.
and I had to move back to Sacramento,
Mm, I
so I'm
see.
not I'm not living in Long Beach anymore, so it makes it hard. They have, they have been playing with a couple other drummers, filling
Oh yeah?
in for because 'cause I'm not there, but, I did
Mm.
play a show with them, a couple weeks ago, and
Oh,
it was
sick.
so much fun. And I also recorded, a record with them too.
Really? Has
So
it
that was
been
a
out
whole
yet?
yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. No, it's not out yet,
Oh, good,
but
good, good,
it
good.
it will be coming out. Yeah.
I really dig
So,
their music, so wondered if it's out
yeah,
yet.
it's really great, and I absolutely love playing in the band because I love playing the drums, and I just get to sit there and, like, do the drums. Like, I
Mm.
don't really have to, like, worry about much
Oh yeah?
else. Like, I sing some
Mm.
backups here and there, but, like, I just love being able to, like, just kill it behind the kit and, like,
Mm.
always have a smile on my face, like, always just it's just a lot of fun. I love it.
Mm. They have such a stage presence too. Whether it's behind the drum
Yeah.
or playing guitar. Uh, I
Uh-huh.
love their imagery of aesthetically. It's like super like femme fatale, kind of badass rock and roll like girls.
Yes.
I
That's
love their
another
style.
thing that's really
Mm.
fun. Yeah, we all get dressed up and we're all, like, matching, and it's
That's
it's
important.
super cool. Yeah.
That is important. All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. Sorry, but I'll be back.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. I wanted to ask you about the art project that you're doing.
Oh, yes.
I actually ordered the bandana and Hank Williams sticker and Lucy Ramone sticker because it was sparkly and awesome. So, but
Oh, thank you.
I I heard like in some way you mentioning you making Ramon stickers.
Yes,
Are you doing that
I
still?
am. I'm going to.
Mhm.
So I'm planning on, because okay, I drew Dee Dee
Mm.
as a commission
Oh,
for
yeah?
someone, and it turned out amazing. And I asked them, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be doing a Ramones collection.
Hmm.
So like you could either wait
Hmm.
and just get that,
Hmm.
or I could just do this DD for you now.
Hmm.
And she was like, I definitely want like my own unique DD to have.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
And I will get the collection when it comes out too, but I want my own unique DD. So I was
Okay.
like, okay. So I drew this DD and it turned out so good. And it was so cute. And I was like, oh my God, like I wish I could use this one in my collection because it's so good. And so
Ah.
promptly after I drew the DD, I did Joey, who turned out phenomenally. And then so I was gonna do the original lineup, but then I had to do DD all over again. So
Oh
then I
yeah.
started doing
Hmm.
DD for the collection, and it just like wasn't turning out good. And
Hmm.
I'm like, I can't figure out what's wrong with it, but it's not as good as the other one. So that's been like one of my issues. And then
Hmm.
I haven't done Johnny or Tommy yet, but
Not
I have
really.
the sketches done. I haven't had enough time to like do them because I've been having a lot of commissions and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then I also got a job um at
Okay. What do you do?
yeah, I got a job. So I've been busy, but I'm going on tour soon and I'm going to be sitting in the van a lot and I'm going to finish the Ramones collection while I'm on tour so I could release it after.
Oh, good to hear. I'm on
Yes.
it. I want it. Is that gonna be sparkly stuff or just stickers?
No. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
going to be a sticker pack and then the prints.
Printer. Okay. Wow. Sick. All right. Fuck. I was gonna ask you something. How did the so is that the same style as you doing with other country heroes?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of accidentally developed that style of doing
Hmm.
portraits. I
Hmm.
was working on a project for school and it was like an ABC book we were supposed to
Right.
do, but we weren't supposed to have any words on it. It was just supposed to be like the art or whatever. And so I thought,
Hmm.
oh, I could just do country musicians because there's like a bunch of them. And so I ended up doing 25 portraits. And because I had to do so many, my style, like I did the 5, and after I did the first 5, it was very my style was very streamlined, and I, like, just, like, developed a whole, I don't know, just kinda unique way of doing the portraits, and I really thought it
Yeah.
was cool, and then I posted it on Instagram, and everyone else thought it was cool because I used kinda interesting colors
Oh yeah.
on the faces, and so
Hmm.
it's kinda cool, but it, like, works out.
It really it caught my attention for sure. The colorful,
Mhm.
the,
Well,
the
thank you.
combination of like old school like country uh singers and that kind of pop bright um that's yeah, I don't know how to
Mhm.
describe it. You just gotta look at it. So okay, I'm looking forward to
Yeah, and I
that.
really wanna make a book. That's, like, one of my
Look.
main goals is to make a book because I've already done, so many other country musicians, so I wanna
Hmm.
do, like, a coffee table style book that has just a bunch of country musicians in it,
What's that?
in
What's a
that
coffee
style.
table? What's a coffee table?
Like a coffee table book.
Yeah, what is that?
Um
Yeah, I can look it up.
It's kinda like a genre of book that you have.
I'm looking up.
I don't even know if it's, like, a real thing. I
Um,
wanna know what it says about coffee table books. It's
um,
just books that you'd have on a coffee table.
a large, expensive, lavishly illustrated book intended especially for casual reading. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand that, but okay.
Mhm.
But basically, like a book with your pictures on it, right? That you did.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds awesome. Other types of music that you're into, other than what we already
Um,
discussed.
yeah, I am. Um,
Tell me about it.
so yeah, so I love rock and roll. I love
Mm-hmm.
oldies
Hmm. All these.
and oldies and um I guess you could say
Uh,
like soul, like American
hmm.
soul and yeah.
I recently. So, do you go? Do you guys? I know you guys don't have karaoke like we have here, which is not a bar that you can go with friends and like sing, but everybody else there would hear you singing and stuff. But we have this indi- individual like rooms of karaoke rooms that
Okay.
you know.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah,
when
I've
I
heard of
started,
it because they're
hmm, because
yeah,
what?
they're starting to like have them in the States too.
Oh, do it. Anyway, I was
Yeah.
yeah, we love karaoke. All my friends love karaoke. We always go there, but they don't have songs I can sing. So I started like listening to pop songs, even like Lady Gaga, and then I wanted to
Uh-huh.
be have I wanted to be able to have songs that I can sing, which has to be like more popular. Like so, I started listening to old stuff like the Ronettes and the Shangri
Uh-huh.
Las. You
Yeah.
like those? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Recently, super into it, and Amy Winehouse and stuff like that. So that what was I going for? So recently, I started a lot of different diverse type of music too, and all
Yeah.
these has been pretty. Um, I discovered I love those. Just what I just mentioned,
Yeah.
and they're really cool to do covers too. Do you like
Yeah,
those
for
bands?
sure. Yes, I do. So I like rock and roll, oldies, and like garage and like
Hmm.
surf. I love surf
So.
music and yeah, basically just like anything that kind of falls under that vein of like rock and roll, I'm like down for.
Hmm.
Not the
What are
biggest
the?
fan of like
Hmm. What?
what was that?
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say like I'm not like the biggest fan of like industrial or like EDM.
Hmm. Yeah, me neither.
Like that kind of stuff, I'm like I kind of try to stay away from, but
I
um
think it all comes down to like the organicness. I'm not sure it's a word. Like I dig music
yeah,
that are
I
like
agree.
organic,
Yes,
which is nothing wrong with all these the
me
different
too.
music, but I think I gravitate
Yeah.
towards like band music because it's so organic.
Yes,
Uh,
I would definitely agree with that.
hmm. Also movies too. Like I love I can watch all the horror movies that has like special effect, but I don't really like the CGI shit that poorly
Uh-huh.
done. Or yeah, do you like movies?
You know what? I
Mm,
don't watch that many.
really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big movie person.
Mm, sure, I
'Cause, like,
see.
growing up, I played a lot of sports, so I was, like, always
Really?
busy doing that. Yeah, and then
Oh, I didn't know
also
that.
I started my band when I was young,
Mm,
and we
mm, mm.
started touring regularly since I was 11. So I've always been very busy, and television and movies haven't really been, like, a really big part of my life.
Oh, really?
Um, I
Sure.
think during this pandemic, I've watched the most television that I've pretty much ever watched ever.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay. Fair enough.
yeah,
What's the
I would rather listen to
mhm.
music than watch TV. I think that's my biggest thing.
Fair
Or
enough.
draw.
I don't watch. Oh yeah, you draw too, obviously. Yeah, I draw too. creative. What's I skipped this question totally when we talked about songwriting, but what inspires you to write songs? Obviously, a lot of songs about heartbreak and love, but are those
Hmm.
things that you personally experienced or something that you made up in your mind as well? Or
Yeah, so a lot of it is stuff that I personally experience.
hmm,
But there's a bit that there's been a couple songs here and there that I've just made up, and that Jack White
hmm,
pretty much said in an interview that, you can write a song about whatever you want,
hmm.
like it doesn't have to happen to you. And
Oh
so
yeah,
like that was
that's
really
true.
inspiring to me. So,
Hmm.
yeah, but a lot of the time I draw it from um personal experiences. There's a handful of songs that I've been inspired by books and
Books.
even some movies. Yeah.
Hmm. Like what? Like what kind of movies?
Um just like kind of like rom like romantic comedy or like not
Hmm.
comedy, but just like little romance movies sometimes I draw some
Okay.
inspiration from, but
Hmm.
most of the time it's personal stuff. And then um I really, really like the book Brave New World. It's one of my favorites. And
Hmm.
we have a song that's called Brave New World, and it's
Hmm.
about that book.
All right. Cool. Okay. Um.
Yeah.
Like I said, you write a lot of love songs now. But now you toured with did you tour with Green Day or just played like a couple times?
Yes, we did a US tour with them.
Tour. Okay. So now you toured with Green Day. Do people recognize you on the street? And now you are at least like a little more famous that and meeting a lot of different people. Have your the things that you write about, because you meet a lot of different people now, um so you probably have different type of relationship with people. That has that affected your songwriting? I don't know, do you understand the question? But
Think
it's
yeah. So I think the toughest thing for me is that
mm, mm,
I'm kind of more of like a private person. Like I'm not
okay.
really like I'm kind of like when I was little especially like I was really shy. And
Mm,
so like writing about your feelings is really hard, especially when you know that you have an audience that are
mm,
listening. So sometimes I get self-conscious about that, and especially after
mm,
we toured with Green Day, our audience, broadened a lot, and so
yeah, assume.
it was like a little bit more pressure that like I'm not just sitting in my bedroom alone writing and singing. Like these are songs that people hear.
Oh yeah, right.
And this is like stuff that people hear.
Mm.
So I think that's the biggest thing from that.
Do people like recognize you?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm
Wow.
pretty recognizable because my hair is
Yeah.
pink, but definitely in the first couple years I was living in Long Beach, it was crazy because it was right when we toured with Green Day, so I was
Hmm.
getting recognized a lot,
Holy
and it
shit.
was funny. But yeah, it's fun
You strike me as a
as well.
person who's really like well, you have been really like generous to me, so I assume you've been generous to your fans too. But how are you handling the, I guess, the fame? I don't
Um, there's been some instances where it can get a little overwhelming,
know.
and I just kind of like don't want to
Hmm.
even just have my life like in the public. I feel like
Mm.
there's been some unnecessary drama that's come out of just
Really?
me, being in a band and being, known by people.
Mm,
And sometimes I'm like, dang. But all in all, I try to keep it positive, and I know that there are a handful of people out there that look up to me and that
mm,
my interaction with them like means a lot. So I
mm.
always try to like keep it really nice, and I try really hard to be more open because that's not really the first thing I am naturally inclined to be.
Hmm. Okay. If you don't mind, like telling me what kind of like you said, um, drama
Yeah, I
would
think
you
it's
would
just
you?
like
Mm,
that there's more like I'm not just like some like random girl
mm.
that
Okay.
like there's just more eyes on me
Yeah.
and there's more of an audience and so
Oh. Okay.
yeah.
Sure. I see. Um. Are you a vegan?
No, but I was
Ah. Okay.
vegetarian for a long time and I was actually
Oh.
vegan for a period of time. But I
Mm.
do love vegan food. So I eat a lot of it, a lot of vegetarian food as well. But
Ah, okay.
I am not vegan. Yeah.
Mm. Because I see like
Are
every
you
now and then
vegan?
you. Yeah. 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 That's why I was kind of like because you post like some vegan
Nice.
shit online and like see that. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's like one of us, whatever. But
Yeah, I love vegan stuff, and a lot of my friends are vegan. A lot of
it's
them.
it's gotta be so easy to be one in your area, California, especially. Like
Yeah,
it's a little bit. I
it
wouldn't say
is,
it's hard,
especially
but
in
like here, it's a bit harder.
yeah.
All right, cool. Weirdest interview experience that you had. Has there been any like
Mm,
not necessarily bad, but like some interesting or weird like experience with interviews in podcasts and stuff like that? I was curious because I now host
oh
a
my
podcast.
gosh, I feel like there totally was a weird thing that happened once
Really? And if you don't
with an
mind
interview.
telling me, I'm so curious.
Oh, I just think I know, I'm just trying to think. I think one of the most frustrating things ever is
Mm,
when you have an interview with someone
mm,
and then they're writing for a publication
mm.
and then the publication comes out and you read it and they totally misunderstood what you said
Really?
and it's just like like that's not what like meant at all and like you're writing that I said that. It's
So
just like a little frustrating.
so they don't literally write down what you said, but maybe they change what you said, or they interpret it in a
Yeah,
different
well,
way.
they interpret it a different way and like paraphrase it into something that
Really?
is like that's not what I
Mm,
meant. So that's why doing like podcasts and stuff like that is like very fun and kind of refreshing because I know that it's not gonna be just like my words interpreted by someone else and then that's
true.
what people are reading.
Yeah, we're just gonna hear what you exactly said. Unless I just cut here and there, I'm gonna make her sound dumb.
Yeah.
I don't do that, so.
Yeah, but I mean it's nothing against journalists. I think that journalists are awesome and cool. It's just that
Mm.
there's been a couple of times where it's been kind of like, oh man, like that's not what I meant.
But, do you remember any like concrete example? You said something, but
I
they
don't
taught a different way.
really,
Remember?
yeah, I don't really remember. But another thing that
Okay.
happens a lot, which is funny, is people
Mm.
think that I'm Gwenny or Gwenny's me
Oh
because
yeah.
our voices are similar on the phone.
Yeah, voice
They
is very
definitely for
similar.
a period of time yeah, for a period of time, our voices were really similar. I feel like now they're a bit more different, but
Hmm.
we're easily confused. And even for like record reviews in the past, people they just assume that um my voice is Gwenny's because sometimes I appear on singing lead vocals on more songs than her. And
Hmm.
typically the guitar player sings the lead vocal like more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
It must
sometimes
be.
people
Mhm.
Yeah, sometimes people just
I
get it
can
mixed up, which is
I can understand
it's
that.
whatever. Yeah.
Um.
Oh, but I will mention this one interview.
Mhm. Go ahead.
This one interview was kind of peculiar, and it was in Canada, and it might have even been in like Toronto. I think it
Oh yeah.
was, honestly. But
Yeah.
we
Toronto.
were interviewed for a magazine that was about weed, like marijuana,
Yeah.
and neither my sister and I partake in that. And so it was funny because they
Why?
were they were interviewing us, about the band, and then
Oh.
they couldn't ask us any questions about weed because we didn't have any answers for them. And so they
Yeah.
asked us like what our favorite like snacks were. Like instead of like asking like what we like to eat like when we're high or whatever, they were like, "Oh yeah, what are your favorite snacks?" So I was like,
Oh.
"Flamin' hot Cheetos."
Oh,
And
Cheetos.
like they asked like what our favorite movies were. Like I don't
Okay.
know. Like I guess the original question was like our favorite movie to watch or favorite show to watch when we're like stoned or whatever.
Mm, mm,
But,
mm,
yeah,
mm.
so that was funny. I think that was kind of one of the funniest ones.
So they knew you guys don't smoke, but they decided to interview you about weed. Not the weed, about the weed, because they changed
Yeah,
the question. Hmm,
yeah,
interesting.
exactly. Yeah.
Let's have a people that don't smoke things that we base our entire magazine around.
Yep.
Yo, have you been have you had things with doing some like releasing stuff in Japanese in Japan or tour in Japan and stuff like that? Anything to do with Japanese or Japan?
So, I love Japan.
Oh
First of
yeah?
all, Japanese food is my favorite kind of food.
Okay.
Ramen is my favorite food, and sushi is, like, my second favorite.
Oh,
And
that's
I have always wanted to come to Japan. It
hmm.
has been a lifelong dream of mine, and especially to play in Japan and tour Japan. That's, like, on the top of my list of things that I wanna do.
Sick. Yeah. Do
Like,
you
I wanna
meet
come
them?
so bad.
Yeah, we're not opened up yet. So, but do you
No.
have Japanese fans that you recognize? Like, are there many fans in
Um,
Japan? I have no idea.
Honestly, I don't really know. I know that
Mm, mm,
we
mm,
get
mm, mm.
played on Mike Rogers' show. He
What
has,
is
like,
that?
a radio station in Japan.
Okay.
I don't know, he has yeah, Mike Rogers radio station, he plays us. And I know that there's a couple of Instagram accounts that
Mm.
I follow that are I know at least one of them is a fan of Dog Party.
Oh yeah.
Um, and
Hmm.
I feel like it's a collective. It's called, like,
All right. Let me check out.
Vamp Girl?
Vampiro. Okay.
Yeah, Vamp Girl.
Vampiro.
But they're in Japan. I don't know if it's a person. I've
Mhm. All right.
messaged them about
Oh really?
I've messaged them about wanting to come, and they were like, "Yeah."
Are they like a promoter or band or something? Or is it a random person that you just message like I want to come to Japan?
I was under the impression that they
Hmm.
were like a collective and they did like
Collective.
yeah, they do like interviews and whatnot. They
Oh.
interview bands
Okay. Okay.
and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I was like, I want to come to Japan, and they were like, do it.
When was this?
It was a couple of years ago,
Hmm.
but
You're getting
see,
there, huh?
I'm trying to
Come.
convince CJ Ramone to come to Japan
Oh shit.
and to take me with him.
Do that.
That would be fun.
Come to the castle. I work at the castle called Himeji Castle. I'll let you in for free. If I
Sweet.
mean, I don't know if it's possible. If it's on my day off,
Oh
I'll
my
just like,
god.
hey, it's me. Let me in. But that's the most iconic castle in Japan. I would say it's the biggest, possibly. If you think of the Japanese castle, it's my castle.
Wow.
I run the castle. I call
That's really
myself a castle
cool.
keeper because it sounds badass, but I basically tell people to take shoes off.
Nice.
It's funny to see reaction of especially Westerners when they realize they have to take their shoes off. It's such a to some people it's such a shock.
Yeah. Yeah. My
I get in trouble
one of
sometimes.
my
Hmm.
yeah, one of my old roommates was Japanese. She had a lot of Japanese in her family and
Hmm.
she she goes to Japan um and she had a lot of rules um in the
Rules.
house like involving the shoes. And and I felt bad because sometimes I would forget to take off my shoes, but
Oh, when you go to her place.
yeah, because we live
Ah, okay.
together in the same house, so
Ah,
yeah.
so they kind of dictated the shoe part of your house
Yes,
rule.
the policy, yes.
But basically, just take off, right? That's what it is, right? Any
Mhm.
other weird rules that they have?
No, pretty much just that, and then they would just share recipes with me that I liked and make
Food?
good food. Yeah.
Like what food?
She made these really cool, like, the Japanese omelets
Oh.
where, like, you, like, roll it.
Oh, is that originally? Is that? I didn't know it was Japanese thing. Okay.
There's, like, a
Oh,
special, like, Japanese version of that she makes that's good, and then
okay.
also, um, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I like onigiri?
Yeah, you're doing right. Onigiri, just rice ball, right?
I love those.
What do you put it? What do you put
Yeah,
in
and then
your onigiri?
put I put, tuna and mayonnaise,
Hmm. I see. I see. Classic.
like the Kewpie mayonnaise, the Japanese mayonnaise.
See, what's up? Okay, so what's up with the QB mayonnaise that everybody's asking me to send me one? Like, is that special? Like, how different
Yeah,
is it?
it is. It's so tasty.
How is it?
It's so
Oh,
good.
how
It's
different?
different than
Could you
regular
describe?
American. I don't know, it tastes different.
Hmm.
It has more of a like a richer like flavor.
I
Like
have
for
an
example,
idea.
like I would eat the Kewpie mayonnaise with French fries,
Okay.
like just dipping the fry in and eating it, but I
Mm.
would not dip dip the fry in the American mayonnaise.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah. Now I want to. I mean, I wouldn't try an actual one because it has egg in it. But I wonder. Cause my because like earlier this year, my German friend was asking. She wanted like she wanted all these different types of mayonnaise from Japan. I was like, sure, I can send you mayonnaise if that's what you want from Japan. It's that's the first time I realized, and ask a lot of people, and they say, yeah, yeah, Japanese mayonnaise. And what's up with that?
Yeah, I have my special
Okay.
Japanese mayonnaise in the fridge. That's
Mm.
mine, and it's only mine.
Is it easier to get? It's easy to get it over there too.
Yeah, like in LA it is. It's a
Mm-mm.
bit harder in Sacramento, but I just order out
Mm.
online.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Cool. Is there other passions other than art and music that you have?
I would say that my next favorite thing is
Mm.
food,
Okay.
and ramen. I'm, like, very into ramen,
Oh.
and whenever I'm on tour, I try to go to different ramen spots.
Hmm. What kind of ramen? You know, we have all kinds of different like flavors and stuff like that. But do you have like
Yes,
favorite?
yes. Uh-huh.
You're
Yeah,
like glad you
so,
asked.
yeah. So, I historically well, my favorite ramen place in Sacramento, they had Tauntaun Men,
Tantan. Okay.
which that one is hard to find here. You don't see the
Mm.
Tauntaun Men.
Is it like the
Um,
spicy one?
um,
I don't know much about tantan.
Tauntaun Men, I just know it has beef in it,
Okay.
and it has like, the broth is super good, and it has, like, sesame seeds in it.
Oh, is it spicy? I remember it being spicy. No.
I always get the spicy ones.
Hmm.
And,
Sure.
um, I really like the shoyu,
Hmm. Me too.
and then, what's the other one called? I'm, like, blanking.
Tonkotsu?
Tonkatsu.
Ah, tonkotsu ramen.
Mhm.
It's like the
Yeah.
uh, well, literally pig bone. I think the broth is made of.
Yeah, is that what that
Hmm.
means? Does it
Yeah,
mean
it means ton and kotsu. The ton is pig, poke, and kotsu is bone. So I think they make soup broth out of that or
Oh.
something. It's a white one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they do,
Creamy
and
white.
yeah, the white one. Mhm.
Ah, okay. Mm. Yeah, we have those too.
Yeah, so I like the tonkatsu, but sometimes it can be, like, really rich, so
Yeah,
that's why I like to
absolutely,
get the
absolutely.
shoyu one because it's more like if I if I was, like, sick or something,
Mm.
I would wanna pick the shoyu over the tonkatsu to, like, help me.
Mm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I'll teach you. I'll teach you ramen terminology because
Yes.
you said yeah. Whether you want to know or not, I'm gonna tell you. um, when it's rich, especially when
Mhm.
it comes to ramen, we have this kind of like words to describe adjective. Like I guess it's called onomatopoeia or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So tonkotsu and that kind of rich stuff in Japanese, we would say, okay, how do we say? Kotteri. Kotteri. It's
What
like
does it
the
mean?
it's like the rich, definitely like tonkotsu, tantamen type, really rich, heavy in stomach type, rich. And like you said, something light like salt or
Mhm.
shoyu would be tappari.
Ah,
It's lighter. So if you
nice.
hear that, that's a ramen terminology. And
That's cool.
I teach you one thing that a lot of people known about ramen culture. You are supposed to slurp when you eat ramen because of do you guys do that in? I mean, I know it's rude in America, but at ramen place, do you ever do that or?
Um, like, very loudly, like, slurp 'em?
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't I try to not eat loudly because
Yeah, that makes sense because it's America. If you ever come to Japan, that's how you're supposed to eat. Because, well, manner, I guess, a little bit too, but to really taste the flavor, because you're using,
hmm,
I don't know how that works, but like you using your mouth as well. And then when you slurp, the flavor really just, you can taste it.
I could see that, yeah.
Hmm. So before you come to Japan, you might want to practice it by yourself in your room,
Yeah, I might
slurping.
have to.
That's one thing we always do. Hmm. But anyway, so you other passion other than music and food. What do you cook?
Well, I love to make Japanese curry.
Oh yeah, Japanese curry. Like,
That's
what's up
one of
with
my
that too? Like,
favorite
how is it
things.
different?
Just the types of spices I guess y'all use.
Hmm. Can you
There
get
it's
it over there?
yeah, so I mean, I get it from a little box. Like all the spices are like condensed like into this cube.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cute stuff. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's not like a super gourmet recipe or
Okay,
anything,
sure,
but
sure.
I really like it. It's really good. And I put bok choy in it. I put
Okay,
potatoes, carrots,
okay,
and bok choy.
I see.
It's very good. I like to make that, and I also like to make spaghetti. I make
Mm,
my own sauce from scratch with the tomatoes, with the cherry tomatoes.
tomato sauce. Oh, nice. Do you like
Um,
do you like pesto? Is that a thing?
yeah, pesto's good. And then I also know how to make the onigiris. I have like the little rice molds for them. I like to make those.
Oh, sick. The triangle
And
ones?
yeah, and then
Nice.
my
Mm.
my friend also taught me how to make spam musubi.
Bam.
Spam musubi, which is like Hawaiian.
Oh, it's like a Hawaiian shit. Ah,
Yeah. Mhm.
that must be
Those are the
okay.
main things that I make.
Hmm. Cool.
But
Good to know.
I like going out and getting food. Like, there's this I always like chicken sandwiches. Those are,
Mm.
like, really good,
Mm.
and I just like trying food and, like, going out to get food with my friends. It's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Lucy Ramone loves food. See? Okay. I think I'll let you go soon. But any message would you give to Japanese fans, if there's any listening to this?
Yeah, I would say that I really, really wanna come to Japan. That is, like, one of my biggest dreams,
Hmm.
and I can't wait to come and to play my music over in
Sick.
Japan.
What's the introduction for you to the Japanese culture that got you interested in so much that you want to come and tour?
Um, I think that I'm trying to think,
Mm.
because 'cause I'm not, like, super into, I've never been really into,
Anime?
anime, like, that's what a lot of
Mm.
people here like is the anime,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I really
Typical.
like sushi and ramen. That's
Just so
that's
just food gateway.
yeah,
Ah,
and then,
okay.
hearing about your guys's, culture is really cool, and,
Mm.
in college, I took a lot of art history classes, and
Yeah.
I took a course on, Asian art history, and it talked about Japan a lot, and I really liked that, learning about it. I
History.
thought it was cool. Mhm. Art
Like
history.
art history.
Um,
Like what? Tattoos?
like yeah, just, the different, um, way back in the day, like, in the BCs, like,
Hmm.
the Japanese arts and, the pottery and
Mm.
then, the scrolls. I took it,
Mm.
a couple years ago, so it's
Okay.
not super fresh in my mind, but it's just really cool. It was so interesting learning about the Asian art history. Like, we learned a lot about India and China and Japan mainly, um,
Mm.
and just how it, differed from Western
Oh yeah.
art and how,
I'm pretty sure it's
there
different.
were a lot of, really cool, advanced stuff that y'all were all doing that,
Okay.
we didn't do till, way later, and I thought that was just so cool.
Really? All
Yeah,
right.
and, I also thought it was cool how there's, a lot of, I don't know the right word, but, I guess, tombs?
Tombs.
Yeah.
Tombstones?
No, but, underground.
Okay.
There's this one tomb where I don't know, which, like empire or like dynasty was like in control, but
Sure.
they made like a bunch of sculptures, like big life-size sculptures
Huh.
of like people and like people on horses and stuff.
Um. Yeah, I have no idea. It's not gonna be interesting. Cool.
But yeah, a lot of cool stuff like that. And then y'all also have this tomb that you guys haven't excavated yet.
I have no idea about
And
that. How do
it's
you ex-
really cool. And the Japanese government like doesn't want to like excavate it because they don't want to like disrespect their
Ah,
ancestors. But
okay. I have no idea. You know the whole thing.
it's
You went to art
cool.
school, is
Uh-huh.
it? Ah, okay. Fuck, I was gonna ask you something. I forgot. My favorite thing about Japanese culture is art, paintings of Japanese Buddhist hell. Have you seen those things?
Which one is it?
Japanese Buddhist paintings of hell, like the
Oh,
afterlife hell.
yeah. I
So
have.
metal. Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my biggest passion.
They're so cool. Like
Hmm.
that's why I loved taking that class so much because it's just so cool and it's so different than the Western
Mm-hmm.
art that like I
Yeah.
grew up looking at. And it's just like gnarly.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, it was great talking to you. It's one of the
Yes.
dreams come true for me. So thank you so much. Anyway, I gotta give people who are listening to link to whatever you're doing. Um, your art and like the country stickers and all that kind of stuff are on dogpartylive.com.
That's correct. Yes.
That's wherever you is it connected to dog party stuff too? Like
Yeah, so it's on the same website.
same website. Okay. Records?
Yep.
Okay. Records, Lucy's art stuff is at dogpartylive.com. And your Instagram is at Lucy Ramone. And her band Instagram is at Dog Party, just like that. And the other band we talked about, Lost Cats, is at what is this thing? It's like a line, but on the
Oh
bottom.
yeah,
Have you guys?
underscore.
Yes, at underscore Lost Cats. So, is there any? Okay. Also, Bandcamp. Just search Dog Party Bandcamp. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. It was amazing talking to you, Lucy.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you so
awesome
much.
talking to you too.
All right, I'm gonna publish this and yep. Anyway,
Okay.
have a good night and have fun with Anti-Flag tour.
Thank
And
you.
hope to see you in Japan too.
Yes, I do too.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.